Now, before the unfortunate news of his untimely passing in December of 2019, Juice Wrld had the opportunity to inspire millions of people, not with just his music, but with his free-spirited lifestyle. Through his success, he was able to amass a net worth of over $8.5 million, and we're going to take a look back at how he chose to spend that money, living his life to the fullest while he was still with us. Now, like most rappers, Juice Wrld was known to cash out on some of the most sought-after and high-end fashion brands in order to stand out from the rest of the crowd. When asked about who inspired his unique sense of fashion, on the April 22nd, 2019 edition of Sneaker Shopping with Complex, he was quoted saying, "Tyler, A$AP Rocky, Wayne, everyone that had their different swag and wasn't afraid to be different." And that's kind of what encouraged me to do my own thing. And throughout this video, we were treated to stories about Juice's past, how he adapted to the sudden success and wealth that was starting to come his way. He even told a story about how at one point, he was amazed that A$AP Rocky rapped about spending $1,000 on a single pair of shoes. Yet after his blow up, it barely fazed him to spend that much on a pair of shoes. And after spending most of the video talking about shoes, style, and life with Complex, we got to see Juice practically tear the store Complex that brought him to apart. He managed to spend a grand total of $42,000 on various sneakers, clothes, and accessories during the short visit. And the prices of the dozens of items he purchased ranged to just over $100 for some CDG Play Converse sneakers, all the way to upwards of $2,600 for Versace pants. In the end, the $42,000 bill managed to break the all-time spending record for sneaker shopping with Complex, narrowly passing what Future spent during his visit, which was around $39,000. Now, to even further cement Juice WRLD's love for high-end fashion is a GQ article which was written earlier this year in May, which also documented one of Juice's average days shopping. The article highlights his nature of just grabbing anything that drew his attention, comparing him to like a contestant on a supermarket sweep. It mentions that he copped some Mason Margiela sneakers, a Marni swimsuit, Prada sweaters, and OAMC overalls. And although there's no way for us to know, just how much he spent, Juice has invested an insane amount of money in his closet. And the article estimates that in the 3 or 4 times that he went shopping during the month the article was written, that he guessed he spent around $200,000 combined. Juice's spending habits weren't just something that defined his personality, they also had an impact on those closest to him. Lil Bibby, a former rapper from Chicago who would eventually go on to launch Grade A Productions, the label that ended up signing Juice WRLD after discovering Lucid Dreams on SoundCloud, had this to say on Instagram following the tragic news of Juice's passing. He said, "Rest easy, little brother, young GOAT. Most talented I ever witnessed. You will be missed. I watched you one take platinum records. Gonna miss you freestyling around the crib all day. Most genuine person I've ever met. Miss you. Love you, brother." And in the comments of this post, Bibby went on to share some stories about Juice with his followers. He said throughout the years that he knew him, he watched Juice spend millions of dollars on clothes, that he once bought a pair of shoes for $25,000 just to wear them one time and ruin them playing basketball. And he talked about how Juice once had a Yu-Gi-Oh chain made for $500,000, and how you could convince him to buy anything just by saying there was only 10 of them in the world. He even mentioned having to talk Juice WRLD out of spending $500,000 on a 1.5-day trip to Tokyo, and he only managed to talk him down to spending $200,000 instead. And although he's no stranger to spending his money on luxury like designer clothes and rare sneakers, in the time he had, Juice WRLD also used his wealth to give back to his hometown of Chicago. In November of 2019, Juice partnered with McDonald's to put on a free show to raise money for a nonprofit organization called 100 Black Men in Chicago. As part of this campaign called Beat Up My City, the organization's mission statement is to improve the quality of life and enhance the educational opportunities of African American males through the greater Chicago area. And during an interview with Forbes, Juice was asked how the opportunity to give back felt, and he responded saying, "It feels great, honestly. It most definitely did. I'm a humble person, but it humbled me even more just to see the smile on all those kids' faces." And although Juice WRLD's life was cut short, the time that he had, he was able to impact millions of people. Whether it was through his words, his music, or even his charity work, the impact that he had on the world is undeniable. And while some may think the idea of dropping $42,000 on a trip to buy sneakers seems like a reckless decision, Juice just had this philosophy of living life in the moment, making the most of the time you had. Whether it was his favorite sneakers, clothes, or putting smiles on the faces of kids in his hometown, Juice WRLD has lived life a little bit different, man. I think it's something that we can all kind of aspire to become, just a little bit more free. Hey, yo, dog. Click on this video on the screen, fam. I'm so dead serious right now, bro. This video on the screen right here that you're seeing in front of your face, I call this video Smokey the Bear, cause it's fire. That's a bar. No, but for real, just click on this video, please. It's a good video, I promise.